Okay, it's recording. This is something new that I'm trying out. I am trying out playing Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. I'm trying out playing something other than a PS4 game. What I'm gonna do is play this until the save point and see how I feel about it from there. So I'm gonna shut up right now. Alrighty, you would think I would, start off with Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, which would probably be the smart thing to do. Then again, I didn't think I was going to be attempting this at all. So I guess I'll play this game first, and if I like this, I'll, play this game throughout the whole way, and then play the Phoenix Wright trilogy. It's time for reading. Panicked, palms sweaty. I can admit, I'm nervous. Ah, good morning. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise, is that your voice? I suppose it is to be expected. Your first trial, and it's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, eh? I'm fine. I got up at 5 a.m. to do my Cords of Steel voice. I'm fine. Oh my god, the Cords of Steel. That explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your screech. I overdid it again. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gotten, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him on the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to speech while fail. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I am a new attorney. And today's my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him, no way. Whoa. Good morning, sir. Wow, fail. No, not a fail. You know what, I meant to do that. Gonna be adding things that I feel that are necessary to the dialogue. Because I am a scumbag. There we go. Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial, nervous. Meeting him, cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help? So, you're fine. I'm fine. Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name. Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney, And he is your friend, so why... You'll see. You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. It's time. Shall we? Yes, sir. Okay. I need to focus. First trial. Here comes justice. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm gonna kill myself. Here comes justice. The court is now in session. Oh, I'm not doing his voice. I'm not doing his voice. I'm not doing Winston Payne's voice. His voice is too fucking squeaky for me to even come close to doing his voice. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is, fine. I'm in ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank. Don't panic. Act too late. Your name was Mr. Justice, and this is your first trial. Yes, Your Honor, but I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Mr. Gavin? Yes, Your Honor? I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always see to his client's wishes, and my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice, but to entrust this case to this greenhorn? Why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you are the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine, but does he have cords of steel? Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? I won't speak of it any further then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne. To think I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I see you leave in chains. Winston Payne, subtle as ever I see. Ahem. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and hit him. Wham! Is that really necessary? Is all of that really necessary? Okay, I'm gonna read that again, and I'm gonna say it as dumb as possible. And he hit him, wham, on the head, smack, he killed him cold. A customer at the restaurant, you say? And the defendant, you say he was the pianist for the club, it seems. Phoenix Wright, a pianist? This is the weapon that took the victim's life, a bottle of grape juice. Grape juice is apparently a defendant's drink of choice. The judge accepts this deadly bottle as evidence. It's a very strong fucking bottle. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. The court record. Right, I've heard of that. Use the court record button to look at the evidence so far. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right, the court record button. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. Let me stop. Let me stop. Okay. So the victim was a customer at this restaurant. But just who was this, Shady Smith fellow? We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor. A traveler? According to his passport, he has been out of the country for a number of years. He has only returned to this court... Wow. I'm gonna have to get used to this. He had only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear. And he had some sort of connection with the defendant? That too is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime. If they had only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. The judge already roasting Phoenix, and this isn't even his own game. Shit. That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime. Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and of itself. Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal. It is true that the defendant was in a game. Wow. Okay. Okay. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim, yet it was only that, a game, in the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions, only the cards, their backs wretched in the blue flame. Know its final outcome. Come again? The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present and impress women. That would be our first order of business here, then. Impress women. To find out more about the fatal game of cards. If I intend to make this means that I'm going to have to get used to this. Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker. Yeah, this is nervousness. By the way, I'm on my phone, if you haven't noticed. Look at all that stuff. Okay. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime. My pleasure. This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table, the room where we play, and the competition. And there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is. A game, and our customers are happy. A pianist who can't play piano. Can we stop? Can we stop this? Can we not roast this man? Unless he's roasting Apollo, then it's perfectly fine. His chords of steel are not working out for him. But, yeah. Better than a defense attorney who can't defend. Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. Right, Your Honor. My first cross-examination. Don't blow it. Are you alright? You're sweating bullets. Bullets where? It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times, though you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? What to do? Should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher course in cross-examination? I'm gonna save myself the trouble and not give myself any more lines to read over. No need for help here, sir. I think I've got this one covered. I think you'd better do more than you think. You know it, or you do not. I'm fine. The cords of steel are ready for battle. My weapons press and present. Find any inconsistencies and lies in the testimony and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it. Inconsistencies? Lies? Phoenix Wright? As if. Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's all up to me to prove it. The defense may begin the cross-examination. You can hardly play? Oh, I play sometimes, when customers demand it. So I play them one song. That is usually all they want. Was that supposed to be a boast just now? The title of pianist is a mask, a respectable face I wear for the world at large. Then why are you really at the Borscht Bowl Club? Are we not listening to the testimony, Judge? They pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I am a professional after all. Ah, do I have to take pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine. Yes, your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston. What? I've played poker for 7 years in that little room, and I've never lost once. What? You see why the customers come here now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw. Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time? As I said, I am a professional. He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once? Is that even possible? The photo in the room. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. Take another deep breath. I have a feeling I want to continue this. Yeah. The room and the scene of the crime. I did it again. I did it again. I'm not cutting any of these, by the way. This is my first experience actually having to read off the dialogue in any game. Okay. The room in the crime scene photo, is that an attraction? It has quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. Black market. All in the past, things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice it to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. A smoky room, gambling hoods, you know, just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through the small window. I can practically picture it now. That window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout, but little else. The room had a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to all regulars. At any rate, they come play poker in a room steeped in history. If you notice me slowing down the reading, that's because I clearly made a mistake there. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. Why did I read that again? That was a part of the testimony, and yourself, me, right now. 2 decks of cards? A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate the 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lying scattered on the floor. Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor, each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we used 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, and the other was blue. As I recall, in poker, you make 5-card hands. I see how it would be easy to cheat. Yes, a game of hands. This competition you're talking about, I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right! It was a simple game after all. Are you sure? Huh? People are not murdered over simple games, Justice. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment that crime occurred, yet you claim no connection to the crime? Now that's strange. What's strange? I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. I completely let that one slip by. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right, there's something I'd like to make clear, namely your connection to the case at hand, and I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not? Very well, the defendant will amend his testimony. Just one little press, and I've got myself a whole new testimony. I plead silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched the murder weapon. Oh, there was his prints, yeah. So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon? This grape juice bottle, right? So I said. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? Fuck your hair. Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb. What's this, Mr. Payne? I examined the bottle in question, you see, and it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Objection! No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine. Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears and our case. But what about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. The prints alone doesn't prove You see, that's why I'm not doing that voice. How fucking screechy that objection was. Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints, huh? But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down. Upside down? What does that mean? It means he was holding the bottle inverted, and there can be only one reason for that. Yes. To brain someone with the bottle. Ugh! Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse. Oh? I see no problem, Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything, you'll see. Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on the bottle to this court? I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now. Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case. I'm sure he's not cooperative because he's hiding something. There must be a... Wow. That objection kind of helped me there. Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police? Reported? Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright. But still, that... Really? Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Near the scene. Let's take a look at the diagram of a murder scene, shall we? I got A and D backwards. Good job, me. The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement 2 floors down from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground. The call came from... Oh my god, I just realized when Clavier appears, I'm gonna have to do a... Okay. I have to do a better accent. Fuck. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant. I see. And this is the phone that made the call? The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose, yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he is being uncooperative. Nice save, Mr. Gavin. I better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being. Toyed? I assure you, no one is more serious about... What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment that the crime occurred? How can you possibly know this? That's a good question. How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. You're as good as they say you are. So someone else was in the room the night of the crime. That must mean they witnessed the crime. Oh, fuck, Olga. Everything up until now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? I said, let me stop. Very well, the prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. You know what, how about this? This is where I stop. Okay. This has been day 9, reaching new heights of stupidity every day. I don't know how I feel about continuing this, but I'm open to it. So, with that being said, farewell.